Hey everybody, today we're finishing the book of Ruth. It was on the 13th day of the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, that the king's order and his law were to be enforced. On the very day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to overpower them, the tables were turned against them. The Jews overpowered their enemies instead. The Jews joined together in their towns and all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to defend themselves against those who tried to harm them. No one was able to stand in their way because everyone was afraid of the Jews. The Jews put down all their enemies with sword blows, killing and destruction. They did whatever they wanted to those who hated them. The Jews out in the royal provinces also joined together to defend their lives. They put to rest the troubles with their enemies and killed those who hated them. The total was 75,000 dead. But the Jews didn't lay a hand on anything their enemies owned. That's why the Jews who live in the villages make the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of rejoicing and feasts, a holiday. It is a day on which they send gifts of food to each other. So, is everyone excited to celebrate Purim? That's the holiday that Esther celebrates, establishes. It's not today, it's actually coming up soon on February 25th. Thankfully today, Purim is celebrated with lots of feasting, rather than lots of murder, as we see here. In fact, famously one rabbi said that on Purim, you should drink until you can't tell the difference between the phrase, "Cursed be Haman" and "Blessed be Mordecai." But I think we do have to talk about all the murder that we see in this story here. Now, for one thing, you see that the Jewish people, they don't take the belongings from the people they kill. So it's clear they're not doing all this just to get rich. It's not greed motivating it. The story itself describes it as self-defense. And one of the weird things that we see in Esther is that in this empire, apparently if you make a law, you can't take it back. And so they can't revoke the earlier command to kill the Jews. Right? Esther went to the king and he agreed that was wrong. So instead, they just have to add another command saying, well, the Jews can go kill them first. And so it sounds a little more like offense than defense in my book. And the 75,000 that they kill, it seems a little overkill. Now, obviously, I would say that my view is shaped by the fact that I'm part of a dominant majority and always have been. I don't know what it's like to live as an oppressed minority and actually fear for my life. I think a bigger question here is it possible for God's people to do what God wants, but maybe in the wrong way? Right? God surely wanted his people to be protected, but I don't think that has to mean that God condones the way that they carried out their plans. We have to ask ourselves, how quick are we to justify violence as the will of God? It's especially easy when we first dehumanize others or see ourselves as the victims. How many Christians in this country see themselves as a persecuted minority and use that as an excuse to want to take this kind of revenge? Often violence like this is a failure of imagination, that we can't imagine a better way to solve our problems. It's taking an easy way out. And so it's a little complicated. I think we can celebrate that Queen Esther was able to save her people, but it's more important that we imitate how King Jesus saves his people, not overcoming violence with violence, but overcoming evil with good.